way. But based on this performance, I think that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be even more reactionary than it once was. And this could end up being a harsher reboot than originally anticipated after The Flash. And just based on, for one, as of now, Cavill is like definitely out.
Yeah.
That relationship, the bridges are burned. Maybe they'll get him back in the future if they get along on the Gunverse. Ben Affleck last week said he's done. The director Shazam said he's done. The most recent appearance of Gal, even though the article was that the director wasn't happy that he didn't know, it was probably another Hail Mary to get some more excitement for this project, honestly. And that didn't do it. And I've been consistent that they put too much weight on these cameos. So the last one that could potentially be there is Aquaman, and you have Jason Momoa happy to do another part. Maybe Ezra just blows it out of the water with the Flash. But are you really just going to keep Flash and Wonder Woman?
No.
I just don't see it happening. I think this is going to be a bigger reboot than originally anticipated when James Gunn announced the slate because of performance. What are your thoughts, Brian? And then we'll get to Taladia.
No, I think they could have, done a better job all around. It was just there wasn't very much pomp and circumstance when these movies were announced. I mean, I remember trying to get excited when they announced these at Fandom. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this looks like it's going to be fun. And then you get down to it and you're just like, oh, wait a minute. It's not going anywhere. And I'm just kind of over it. And it's not an event film. Why should I go to an event film? I could just watch these later on. Just many, many things factor in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Senior Nerd, I'm not saying it's Gal Gadot's fault. I'm just saying the way executives think. They think about money, and they don't think like consumers. Like, well, they only gave us like a few minutes, and it's been a while. So they just say, well, we put Wonder Woman in Shazam 2, and people didn't show up. They think about the money. That's all they think about, to a detriment. They are so reactionary for lack, and that's why they put too much weight on the Cavill. And this was worse. They're just like, there's no interest left for these characters. And I think it's going to be a harsh reboot now. And I think especially now after Shazam 2, because Ben Affleck said ahead of The Flash, I'm done. Not interested, he said. Not interested. Thank you, Strange Marvel Theories, 99 cents, super sticker. Now I will spin it positive. Oh, go ahead, Talati. What do you think of my thoughts there? I think it's going to be a harder reboot than originally anticipated when he announced the slate.
I think it's a hard reboot as well. I really do, because Gal, obviously, it's sounding like they're getting rid of Gal from certain movies, right? That she was supposed to be in. And like after Shazam 2 basically bombed on its opening weekend, I don't see Gal coming back as well, because it will cause a fan outcry to have her back. Definitely it will. Because this will be even more of a bigger crisis than the Cavill situation. You got to look at it like that, because the Cavill situation was big as it is, but the Wonder Woman one is because Gal was what's it called, ambassador or whatever for Women's International, I think it was. I wasn't too sure. I'm not too sure about that, but I do know that she became more and more popular. Gal did, because of the character Wonder Woman. So if they get rid of her and hard reboot it, the only way I see it, if it's a hard reboot, a new 52 universe is born. That's the only way I see it now.
Senior Nerd, it's not a stretch to think executives just think about money and performance as all. They think about. I mean, that's not. out of touch there, Brian, by saying executives only care about money and reception. Like they want to be
It's kind
consistently,
of their job.
they want to
is
be
the bottom
consistent.
line.
They want to be consistently rewarded, right?
Oh
They
yeah.
don't. They're like, well, why did people show up? They don't look at the context of the bad PR for Warner Brothers for years. We're like, we had a superhero movie and people didn't show up. They're like dumbfounded. We put Wonder Woman in the ads and people didn't show up. Uh-oh, Crazy Joe is here. Crazy Joe.
Plus, oh boy.
It's great.
Plus, plus the way I see it is as well is that the whole idea is that the executive thinks they know it all, but they don't. They really don't understand the fan base, and the general audience
I
overall.
don't think
because
to be fair, I don't think anybody understands the fan base. It's all over the place.
Well, we got some viewer support in the show right now, so I want to give a shout out to Strange Marvel Theories, 99-cent super sticker. Another 99-cent super stickers. Thank you, Strange Marvel Theories. And Brucifer, $9.99. James Gunn needed to be clear about what characters jumping to DCU. That didn't help Shazam 2. And I've been consistent when I said you could do a reboot, but not when you got a year of promoting these films that are already done. It's a long divorce. But Crazy Joe, now that you're here,
Hey,
I think so too. I don't think that James Gunn just didn't do anything. I think there's some confusion still that should have been clarified. And I don't think that's necessarily his fault. I think probably he was instructed by Zaslav. Well, let's wait and see what the reception is to box office and the scores from these projects. And yes, Rotten Tomatoes scores still do decide things. I know people like to dismiss that, but the industry has consistently looked at that Rotten Tomatoes scores and money. They use Rotten Tomatoes scores for marketing. When it goes to physical media, which actually companies are pivoting back more towards physical media too now as another revenue. It might be too late because people already expect digital, but they still do look at Rotten Tomatoes. There was actually proof in articles before that directors actually get bonuses based on the scores, the Rotten Tomatoes scores from critics, not from the audience, from critics. So, but yeah, I think there was some confusion about who's continuing or not. And this, but I do think if it's more of a hard reboot than originally anticipated, and then you get an amazing casting for Superman Legacy, and you start filming Superman, I think people are going to start jumping on to the Gunn show and running with Gunn. I think that's what's going to change it. And but we do want to get Crazy Joe. I do think Crazy Joe, based on the performance of Shazam 2 and Ben Affleck's comments in Hollywood Reporter last week, that this is going to be a harder reboot than they originally planned.
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
it's I think we already know it's a soft reboot because we know that Peacemaker's getting a season 2. We know those characters are continuing. We know he's already said Margot Robbie's going to be there, and I'm telling you, man, mark it down. San Diego, we're getting word Gal Gadot's coming back. There's no way they're getting rid of Gal Gadot.
I'll take you. I'll make you a $5 bet. That's the Gal Gadot.
I'd take
and
that
I want to be wrong. I want to give you $5.
Yeah, no, I'd take that bet. But all signs indicate that she's coming back.
All right, this is on the books. The books. Me versus Crazy Joe, $5.
Yeah, because we know that when the Patty Jenkins third movie got scrapped, she got word it was scrapped, and the first thing she did was go out and tweet, "I'm looking forward to continuing." Then James Gunn said, "We did not fire Gal Gadot." We've heard nothing about a Wonder Woman in the what's been written. So no reboot of Wonder Woman has been announced. Only a prequel series, and they're still heavily promoting her in both Shazam and The Flash. Whereas the rumor was they were cutting Henry Cavill out of The Flash. Why does one person make the cut and the other person not? Well, I'll tell you why. Because she's going to stick around and he's not. That's why. We're going to get word Gal Gadot's sticking around, and I think Zachary Levi will stick around too. I don't think we'll see a Shazam 3, but I think we'll see him in some other projects.
I would love if I could give $5 to Crazy Joe and I hear Gal Gadot's continuing. That would be a good day. I'll get you your lunch. Maybe I'll give you more than $5. That's how confident I think that I don't think that Gal's returning after this.
Well, he said
Unle-
we're going to keep what's working and get rid of what's not working. And the
we
first major hit was Wonder Woman.